with 3 receivers here to the near side, 1 on the far side. And they will hand it off. Good defense there by Sturgis at the line of scrimmage, bringing him down maybe for a loss. And see who we had there.
That was Walters, yep. Pretty much no gain, yeah, straight up the middle. Looks like Spearfish borrowing a page from the playbook of Sturgis, trying to wide out, get everybody spread out and create some openings in the middle of the field.
Krogan there on the tackle that last time. Also, Aaron Moravitz is back in the game after that first half injury, looking back to his usual self in there on about every tackle. Here's the handoff. This time goes across midfield, across that yellow jacket logo, and Hunter Walters with the carry gets it to about the Scooper 48.
Now what do? You're a yard short.
4th down. Yeah, 4th and 1 for Spearfish. I'd go for it.
And I think that's what they're doing. Here comes a play in from the sideline. Wilson back into Hughes, and the clock ticking, the play clock with 19 seconds. Spearfish going for it.
4th and 1 at the Scooper 48-yard line, so right around midfield. And now still out of the shotgun. Spearfish trying to draw Scoopers outside maybe.
Yep, sure looks like it.
Down to 3 seconds, down to 2.
Going to be a timeout.
And a timeout called as Coach Teason was right there in the ear of the official to get his point across that he wanted a timeout there at the last second of the play clock. But that did wind down some of the clock, down to 5:44 in the big clock. In a 10-9 game, as Spearfish has a 1-point advantage. Each team goes to their respective sidelines. First timeout used here by the Spearfish Spartans. Still 3 timeouts left for Sturgis. A 4th and short coming up. Clayson Davis, what do you think they're going to do?
Well, we're finally back here on KDSJ-TV. Had to mix up some settings to try to accommodate for the always changing internet here at Lyle Harris Stadium, it always seems like. But 4th and goal.
4th and 1.
4th and 1.
They're ways away from the goal line.
Nah,
they're at the 48.
I think they're going to go, aren't they?
Yes, I believe they're going to go for it.
And here we go. Sturgis is bringing in their heavy set as they will bring a lot of guys into the box. We only have 1 receiver on the far side for Spearfish.
I believe this is going to be a battle of the line of scrimmage, what both coaches love to do.
4th and
then
1.
Spearfish moves.
1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's kind of been the season for the Spartans. And let's see.
I believe that will be on the lead blocker that time, number 88, Cole Mallow.
That's just coming out of a timeout as well.
That's got to be so frustrating if you're a Spearfish Spartan fan, and if you're Coach Tom Teason, you have your play call, have everything set up, you overemphasize to these kids, don't jump, it's on 2. What do? They jump.
Now let's see if Marcus can get off a good punt here and pin the Scoopers deep. It's up in the air. It's got some hang time. Looks like it's going to bounce around the 25 and then up to the 30. And that's where Sturgis will start at around the 30-yard line. Spearfish probably wanted to kick that a little bit deeper, but didn't get the job done. And now Sturgis, they can get into field goal range. We've seen a made field goal, but a missed point after for the Scoopers as they'll start this drive 1st and 10 at their own 31.
And I do believe we have a final from legendary AP Penfield. We do have an upset in Class 11A. It's the Pre-Tigers putting a 50-burger on top of a Harding County Bison. As the Pre-Tigers, they'll move on to the playoffs. They beat a number 5 seed Harding County Bison 50-28.
I'd like to know if Riley Veal was playing for the Harding County Bison Ranchers tonight, because that is surprising how he couldn't get things going offensively for the Ranchers, and their season just like that is done in the first round. Here's the handoff for the Sturgis Scoopers. Now, they got 5.5 minutes left to go to get it into field goal range or take it all the way down the field. 3 weeks in a row, Sturgis had games where they lost on the last play game, whether it was a 2-point conversion or a point after. So they've seen this play out throughout this season.
And they've had multiple losses by 1 to 3 points. They lost by 1 point versus Huron. They lost by 1 point playing Aberdeen Central the week after Spearfish. And then they lost by 3 versus Pierre a few weeks ago as well.
5 minutes left to go here in regulation, 10-9. Hard to be a tie with it being the score right now. Here's the pass. It is caught by the Scoopers, and it'll be Dylan DeShock making the catch. He brings it over here to the near side, and out of bounds. He goes at about the...
Come on, Cody, math.
39.
Yes, 39-yard line. Well, the referee wasn't putting the ball down.
Well, you blame me for my amazing math skills, so I have to shoot one back at you.
3rd and 2 here. Big play for the Spearfish D.
This is why we have Paul James.
Yeah. And let's see, 4 linemen here for the defense for Spearfish. Sturgis, all their guys are looking over at the Sturgis sideline with 5 seconds left to go on the play clock, and Coach Koletsky will use one of his 3 timeouts here in the second half.
That's unusual to me. I mean, it looked like they simply had no intention of running a play, and were going to call a timeout the whole way. I don't know. It's just strange to me because you have no hope of drawing the defense off because they see you all looking at your sideline. So very strange.
Let's go through the drives here in the second half of the Sturgis Scoopers. They threw an interception on their first drive, then they punted, then they had a 1-yard touchdown run by Sully Jost. That was with 7:43 left to play in the fourth quarter. Then Spearfish got the ball back, and I thought maybe use 4 or 5 minutes of the clock. Well, they used 2 minutes, and now Sturgis has the ball back, and 3rd and 2 at their own 39-yard line. This is the Scoopers' 4th drive of this second half and 13th drive of the game, and they only have 9 points to show for it as they'll go out of the shotgun. 2 receivers set, and again they
look over.
Be ready to go on 2 again if you're a Spearfish Spartan.
Spartans with the outside linebacker set up there, and here's the snap. Sturgis makes sure they got it down right, and they do get enough for the first down, and this will get it up to about the 42. Sully Jost on the carry that time for the Sturgis Scoopers, as the junior running back will get most of the carries, I believe, here down the stretch. He's had an ankle injury the last couple of weeks.
Good to see Sully Jost back in the fold. If you're a Sturgis Scooper fan, you've been missing him the past few weeks, especially in that close loss versus Pierre.
4:26 left to go. I think advantage Scoopers here as they run the football into Spartan territory at about the 48. You're only down by 1. You have the football. You have 2 timeouts left. So does Spearfish.
Spearfish got to look to come up with something big on defense here. They got to make some sort of stop. Got to stop them for no gain. They're real close to getting a first down here. So then you got to reset here after perhaps Sturgis getting a first down here. We'll see what happens. 2nd and 1
for the Scoopers as they just get into Spartan territory. Here's the snap. And looking around is the quarterback. Carter Williams throws it up. It is going to be caught and goes out of bounds at the 25. Making the catch for the Sturgis Scoopers, Tegan Wormstead.
Yeah, now Tegan Wormstead there on the play action pass. Right in between the 40s is kind of the prime position for an offense to take a shot. They've been picking on Aiden Meverden the entire game. As that time, Tegan Wormstead able to beat Meverden to the corner. And it was just a nice pass that time by Carter Williams to find his favorite target, who's starting to become more and more of a problem later in this game.
3:30 left to play in the fourth quarter. Scoopers are at the 23-yard line. They'll hand it off. This gets up to about the 20, then inside the 19, and a wrestling match. They'll stop him, the forward progress there by Kettleson. And this will continue to use the clock, coming up on 3 minutes now left to go in the fourth quarter.
You wonder if you're a Sturgis fan, if you feel comfortable with your kicker at this range.
Right now it would be a 36-yard field goal. Earlier in the game, he made a 31-yard field goal. Williams, the quarterback, looks over to the sideline, gets the call. Now takes a step back and gets the snap. Hands it off to Jost. And Sully is tackled at around the 16-yard line. Walters with the tackle. Coming back in for Spearfish is number 65. That's Leighton Loop coming back in.
They definitely want to get some fresh faces there on the defensive line. Really try to and keep some fresh bodies taking on those heavy offensive linemen from Sturgis, especially on this very critical third down, because if you get a first down, you're just going to burn more clock and get your field goal kicker in more primed of a position.
2:05 left to go here in regulation. Handoff to Jost. Inside the 15, down to the 10. Good enough for a scooper first down. And right now, they're not looking for 3 points. They're trying to get it into the end zone.
They are, and in the process, they're burning that clock.
And it's under 2 minutes left to go now. Spearfish, you got to wonder if you want to use a timeout or two. You got 2 left. And Sturgis right now is just driving it right down your throat. The Scoopers have it first and goal just inside the 10-yard line, and Scoopers are using some more of that clock. Here's the handoff. Goes to a different guy this time, and that'll be a Scooper touchdown. Getting the handoff and going in is Kelvin Kettleson.
Yep, again, it's just that fullback trap. You keep pounding them with the running back, the fullback being the lead blocker. You see that play a lot from the I formation, as I think Sturgis watched that Watertown film to a T, as Watertown, they had some great success versus Spearfish with that fullback trap. And this time catch Spearfish off guard. It gave a free blocker all the way up to the second level. And straight through the end zone, and it's a touchdown for the Scoopers, and they retake the lead late in this one.
I think they're going to go for 2 on this one here as well to try to make it 7. And we're going to have a timeout as well.
No surprise that we have a close game between Sturgis and Spearfish. It's now 15-10 in favor of the Scoopers after that touchdown. And with Sturgis being 2-6 and Spearfish being 6-2, no surprise that this is happening in Class 11 AA tonight.
Like we say, anytime these two teams get together, one team could be undefeated for about 5 years and the other team couldn't win a game in 5 years. They would still play each other close.
As they have in the past, in the 2000s and all the way up to a few years ago, there was close games, as Sturgis won big last year, and Spearfish as the favorites on their home field in this one tonight, but now down by 5 points, 15-10. Spartans make sure they have the right personnel on the field, so they have just one timeout left.
We're going to check on that Rapid City, Central Rapid City Stevens game. It's still 35-33 late in the fourth quarter, as now the backup quarterback for Sturgis, Cano, he'll come on for the 2-point conversion.
So they mark the football, and they're ready to go here. They send 2 guys away. Spearfish defensively. We'll see if they're ready. They're trying to do this to make a 7-point game. And they will have the pass deflected and incomplete. Good job by Spartan defender to knock it down.
Yeah, Aiden Meverden, he's had himself a really tough game defensively, as he had at number 6 the entire night, Tegan Wormstad. Wormstad on the slant. It looked like they faked the jet sweep to the running back, and Cano just trying to do a simple slant pass. It was open, but the pass was too high and behind, and there on the coverage was Aiden Meverden. Again, he's been picked on a lot tonight, but he comes up big. It's a 5-point game. Spartans, you got a minute 33 to go. Paul and I, we've seen this story before earlier this year.
We did. The Rapid City Central game was much like this, where Spearfish, the only difference is they had 4 minutes to go the length of the field, but this time they've got a minute and a half, 1 timeout, and probably hoping for something on a kick return. If we remember back, or if we just look at this game without Dylan Doran able to be out on the field, and Vavruska a little bit hobbled, there goes the deep threat for Spearfish. There goes a lot of speed. There goes a kick returner. Dylan Doran, fantastic job throughout the year returning kicks.
Yeah, in fact, back to return these kicks is Carson Sire and Hunter Walters. And we haven't seen Doran at all, really, since the first quarter. So Sturgis really looking to shut down the run late in this game.
Squib kick.
And Spearfish got to be careful with it. They bobble it, and they don't get anything on the return as they almost fumbled it away, and they finally just land on it like a child with a toy at the 21-yard line. And let's see. You can't settle for a field goal here, boys. You got to get 6 points as Spearfish trails 15-10 with 90 seconds left to go.
Again, that's another classic chapter to a classic rivalry between the Sturgis Scoopers and the Spearfish Spartans.
78 yards to go.
And you got, I cannot see the scoreboard. How many timeouts does Spearfish
One.
have? Just one.
I do believe.
Not ideal. And then you really miss Jack Coette in these situations, who has a cannon of an arm. Again, out with concussion. Has been out since Aberdeen Central. You do miss him in these situations.
Here's Spearfish, Thomas Hughes. They're going to make him throw. He does just a short pass over here to Wilson, who makes the catch. Goes out of bounds. So you want to try to play towards the sidelines here, as you want to get out of bounds, stop the clock. 1:24 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Spearfish gains 5 on the play.
And that is one of the keys to this drive is, Thomas Hughes, can you be smart with the ball? Not take unnecessary sacks. Again, if you have a sack, it pretty much kills your drive. And can you be smart to just make short check down passes, throw to the sideline, and stop the clock?
Here's Hughes. He rolls out, trying to get a block. He throws it up, and this is going to be probably caught by a scooper on the sideline, and ineligible receiver, of course. So that is incomplete. No intentional grounding there, so it's now 3rd and 5 for Spearfish. I go back to a couple drives ago where Spearfish didn't use much time on the clock with a 10-9 lead. They only used about 2 minutes. They ended up punting it away, and the Scoopers drove down the field and got a touchdown. 15-10 is your score.
I wonder if Spearfish would have 2 play calls here. A quick run to catch Sturgis off guard, and then a 4th down play. But you got 2 plays to get 5 yards.
Rolling way back is Hughes. He has time, and now that pocket is breaking down. The pass is caught by Wilson, or is it Walters? That 6 always looks like an 8. It was caught by Hunter Walters at the 26, and now you have 4th and about 5. Spearfish uses their last timeout.
They do. That basically did them no good because the catch actually lost about a half yard or a yard. So, yeah, nothing gained for Spearfish, and they've got 1 play left to figure out how to gain 6 yards.
Don't mind me. I'm just scratching my head on play calls.
Yeah, I mean, it was a screen pass out to the outside. Spearfish, they've been running that play since day one. It's been proven successful, but then again, you've been running a play since day one. It's been on film for pretty much 8 of the 9 games for teams to look at. So I'm pretty sure there was a little tendency that Sturgis picked up on, covered the screenplay, and that made just a quick little ditch effort to try to get the ball to Hunter Walters. And I also agree. I'm not a fan of the screen call on 4th down, and this is pretty much the ball game.
4th down and 5 yards to go for Spearfish to get a new set of downs. Here's the snap. It goes to over here to the side. It will be caught, and we will have a 1st down and out of bounds. So you get everything you wanted.
That's a big-time play.
A catch, out of bounds, clock stops, and it was Carson Sire with the catch. He's going to have to fill in for no Dylan Doran. Where's Vavruska? I see him out there. He's number 11. Spearfish, make sure you have the right play that you want in as they bring Thomas Hughes, the quarterback. Play clock is winding down to 15 seconds. And now they come to the line of scrimmage. Nobody in a hurry.
10 seconds
Coach.
now, under 9. You're out of timeouts.
Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. I
3,
think I
2.
see what's going on here.
Here we go.
Here is Hughes. He's going to throw it up in the air, and it is going to be incomplete. Good defense there by the Sturgis Scoopers. D-back Jackson Kano. The cornerback comes in and deflects the ball away from intended receiver Carson Sire.
It was right in his hands. He had a step on the defender. Really, he wouldn't have scored necessarily, but if he was able just to bring that ball in, it would have been a huge play. Would have got Spearfish on the other side of the 50. Goes off the hands of Carson Sire, and just, you almost wonder if that was Dylan Dorn, if that was a catch.
Now it's exactly 1 minute left to go.
Gotta hurry.
Down to 3 seconds on the play clock. Down to 2, and they do snap it with 1 to go on the play clock. And now you got to throw the ball away. Oh, boy. And it's going to be incomplete.
Yep.
Again, Thomas Hughes never really wants to take a hit.
That was Sire.
Sire, and he didn't know what to do with it. He just threw it to the ground.
Again, you have a wide receiver playing quarterback that he's only been a quarterback really for 2 weeks. And put in these high-pressure situations, he hasn't been a quarterback really the whole year. And that time he had pressure right away. and didn't have the awareness to step up in the pocket, and that just comes with experience of playing quarterback. He's going to stay in there with that quarterback position. Thomas Hughes split out wide here on 3rd and 10.
It is 53 seconds left to play. Here's the pass down the field by Sire. It's a 50-50 ball, and it's going to be intercepted by the Sturgis Scoopers, bringing down the interception in this rivalry matchup, Jackson Cano.
Yeah, they went right toward Thomas Hughes. It almost looked like on the replay, Hughes had a chance at it. I believe he caught the ball, and then at that time, Jackson Cano right there rips it away from Thomas Hughes on the sidelines. That's game.
45 seconds left after the turnover by Spearfish. That is their second turnover, each team with 2 turnovers.
Spearfish with 3 turnovers. That's the third one. There was the muffed punt,
yes,
and the fumble by, was it Wilson?
I believe it was, Wilson.
And then the turnover there.
Mm-hmm. Fumble in the first quarter, fumble in the second quarter, interception in the fourth. We have a flag coming in here before this next play starts. Sturgis has been in so many close games, you kind of feel for him, and losing 5 games straight, and you knew they wanted this one bad, and when it comes out here, they wanted it more as they make a big play defensively, and Spearfish was all but confused on that drive offensively. They had a backup quarterback come in at the time when he was probably your best wide receiver, and he almost makes the catch. You're scratching your head, buddy.
You know, I'm just still at the point where you have your best receiver throwing the ball to your quarterback. I understand Thomas Hughes is probably your best athlete on the team, but it's hard to just put anyone back there at quarterback. You need to be able to understand the intricacies of the quarterback position as with pressure, knowing to do with the ball. It's just hard to see when you're a Spearfish Spartan fan. You really miss Jack Coet in these situations because he was your kind of reliever at quarterback, able to have a big arm, be able to drive the ball down the field, like what Paul and I saw against Rapid City Central, and just again with Dylan Doran being out, putting Thomas Hughes out there on the wide to take the really run routes. You pretty much, everyone in the entire stadium and the entire state knew where that ball was going to your best athlete. It really made the job pretty easy for Sturgis defensively. Again, it had a chance. Thomas Hughes had the catch, was able to really just have it be ripped away from him. You almost wonder.
They take a knee here in the first down, does the Sturgis Scoopers, so that will wind down the clock. It says on the scoreboard that Spearfish still has a timeout left, but I thought they used their last one.
I'm pretty sure they've already used it.
And that's going to do it right there.
Sturgis Scoopers make the road trip on over here to Spearfish, play a little spoiler tonight, and maybe, just maybe, if things work out across the state, maybe Sturgis gets into the playoffs, because that wouldn't surprise me, the way things have gone here in Class 11 AA. The Scoopers and Spartans will meet up at midfield to shake hands as the clock strikes 0 here on this Thursday night. The Sturgis Scoopers on a late touchdown with a minute 33 left to go in the game, and a 10-yard touchdown run by Kettleson. The 2-point conversion was no good, but a win for the Scoopers, 15-10. You're speechless, Clayson Davis. How about Paul James?
I think a lot of it on offense is having some of those key players hurt. It just throws everything into a shambles, so to speak. Having Sire out there, maybe having him down the field. I don't know if they're not comfortable maybe with Hughes' arm, maybe to get the big chunk yardage that you're trying to get. So they're trying to get a guy with a little bit bigger arm down there, thinking that Hughes is a pretty good receiver himself. But it hurts Aiden Kroc, too. I'm told that I apologize if this isn't correct, but I believe it is. I believe he tore his ACL. So I'm quite certain he is done for the season. But that's a big loss on defense, especially for Spearfish. And then, of course, having some troubles too, on offense, not being able to move the ball, not being able to come up with some special teams plays, turning the ball over on special teams. The big fumble from Wilson in the middle of the field when the Spartans had got it across the 40 to about the 35, and Sturgis stopped the drive there. So, and again, it's I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's when these two teams play each other, it does not matter what the record is, period. They simply play each other hard. They know each other really well. They kind of tighten up a little bit. Maybe they are a little bit tentative in terms of making big plays. It's a little bit different. So
great rivalry, though, as it comes down to the final drive again. The Sturgis Scoopers win it 15-10. They go to 3-6 on the season. The Spearfish Spartans dropped their second game in a row. They dropped to 6-3. Spartans with 3 turnovers tonight compared to 1 for the Scoopers, as the Scoopers get the game-winning touchdown by Kettleson late in the fourth quarter.
And you talk about the way the ball bounces, too. How many times did Sturgis put the ball on the turf and it took a perfect hop back into one of their guys' hands?
Yeah.
Now, all it's got to do is bounce the other way one time, and that could be the whole game.
And a interception at the end there by the Spearfish Spartans, and victory jacks being put on by the Sturgis Scoopers on the Spartans field. This may not go over well, and we will have a post-game show coming up next. Scoopers win it 15-10. We'll be back with more on KDSJ Sports in 2 minutes.
They are the community. Bentonite Clay, mined right here in our own backyard near Belfouche in Colony, Wyoming, provides a contributing factor to this area's economic success. This unique product has a huge range of uses, from the main component in cat litter to health and beauty products, pharmaceuticals, and more. It's all produced right here in all of our community. American Colloid Company, working together, winning together.
Collision Repair has built their reputation by offering the highest quality, guaranteed repairs in the area. Satisfied customers return again and again for everything from collision repair to custom paint, glass and windshield, and the best hail repair in the region. They're preferred by most insurance.
Welcome back to the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth here on this Thursday night. High school football regular season ending for both of these teams in a rivalry matchup between the Sturgis Scoopers and the Spearfish Spartans. And what a ending to this one, as Sturgis gets a key interception late, and then that sealed the deal after they got a touchdown by Kettleson to go ahead at 15-10. Spearfish was trying to drive the ball down the field in a couple of different ways, running the football first and then putting it up through the air, and then it became desperation. One play goes this way or that way, we may have a different outcome, but the Spearfish Spartans turned the ball over 3 times tonight. They have 1 touchdown to show for it. That was a touchdown pass, not in the red zone, a 31-yard touchdown pass from Hughes to Vavruska, and that was back in the third quarter to get Spearfish ahead at a point, and then they lose 15-10. As we have a look back at the summary of this one, take you on through, it was a lot of punts in that first quarter.
Oh my gosh, it was a punt fest.
It was a fumble by Spearfish in the first quarter. That was the most exciting thing we saw in the first quarter. Then we go into the second quarter. It was a punt and another punt, and then a punt and a fumble by the Spearfish Spartans. Spartans fumble that punt return. The Scoopers recovered it at their own 22-yard line. They would drive it down the field, get a 31-yard field goal by Elliott Smith, and that put the Scoopers on the board first, 3-0 in the second quarter. Spearfish would answer back, though. They got down to about the 16-yard line. Actually, they were inside the 10. Couldn't do anything with it, so they settled for a field goal. They make a 33-yard field goal. It is good by San Marcos. So that made it 3-3 tie. And then we had a punt, and then we went into the locker room. Third quarter, starting off, Spearfish with the ball, punt. Sturgis throws an interception, their first and only turnover of the night. Spearfish would have the ball next, a 31-yard touchdown pass from Hughes to Vavruska. The point after was good, and Spearfish then led 10-3. Sturgis punted. Spearfish did the same. Sturgis came back with a 1-yard touchdown run by Soli Jost. They used some clock on that drive, just grinded it right at the Spartan defense. Jost had the 1-yard touchdown run. 7:43 left to go in the fourth quarter, and the point after was no good, so it was 10-9 in favor of Spearfish.
At the time, that was a huge extra point, too, especially with the way that Spearfish, they had their run game going at times there during that stretch of the game. So you really thought if you were Spearfish, if you kept that run game going, you were going to be able to be the ones to kind of grind down the clock, much like what Sturgis did late in this one.
Spearfish did not use much of the clock on their next drive, only about 2 minutes. They punted it away. Then Sturgis, knowing that, well, you get into field goal range, but I think once they got past midfield, they weren't even thinking about field goal anymore. They were trying to make the Spartans pay and get a touchdown, and that's what they did. They used about 3 different running backs on that drive. It was capped off by Kettleson with a 10-yard touchdown run with 1:33 left to go in the game. The 2-point conversion was no good, which made it 15-10. There was still some life in the Spartans, but you could tell they were a little bit deflated going into that final drive.
Yeah, that final drive, especially when you haven't been able to do a whole lot through the air other than that one slant pass for a touchdown to Cade Vavruska. But again, the Spartans, you've been able to stand up to these big bullies of offensive lines with T-Area and Watertown earlier this year. You're almost thinking if you're a Spartans fan, you're able to see the Spartans come up big in those third and fourth and short moments against Sturgis. But again, it was just the Sturgis run game. And it wasn't just running the ball. They were really diverse with their runs as well. As again, that touchdown run was by Calvin Kettleston. He was that fullback in that pistol formation, split off to the offside, the one side of the quarterback. And when you're running the ball so well with the tailback, you often forget about the fullback. And it's kind of a similar play that Watertown did against Spearfish. You leave the outside defenders unblocked. You pull an offensive lineman, normally a guard, through the hole, able to get a hat on a linebacker. It's such a quick hitting play that the defense don't really have time to respond. And you use it right there on the goal line when Spearfish is on their heels, punch them forward for a touchdown, and most importantly, burned so much clock off the field, really didn't give Spearfish any chance at all to give Hunter Walters the ball, other than they tried that screen pass on that next play that Sturgis really kind of solved out there on that drive. But anyways, back to you, Cody.
Spearfish had about 90 seconds left on that last drive and just couldn't get anything going. Sturgis Scoopers wanted it more, and they picked off a pass. The interception was the third turnover of the night by the Spearfish Spartans, and Spearfish loses 15-10. They dropped to 6-3 on the season. They go 1-1 in the Black Hills Conference this year. The Sturgis Scoopers improved to 3-6 on the season. If they don't make it to the playoffs, you know this was the one game they wanted to win on the road in Spearfish. probably make the Spartans travel across the state next week for the playoffs. And the Scoopers getting that touchdown run by Kettleson late in the game was huge, as let's see, they had a touchdown in the fourth quarter also by Jost, as Spearfish had one touchdown in the second half, as the Scoopers win it 15-10. They had so many close games. You like to see this one go their way for the Scoopers after losing so many just by a single point or by a 2-point conversion. And the Scoopers come out of here victorious and their third win of the year.
No, absolutely. Again, talking with Coach Kalinske earlier today, they said they wanted to win this one for their seniors. There's so many seniors on this football team. They've seen all the ups and downs. They were 6-4 last year. Not the best year this year. Again, pretty much mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, especially when we take a look at the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard here during our next segment of our Wolves Plumbing of our post-game show. But again, you want to win these for the Scoopers. Again, their last regular season football game. Some of these kids, the last football games they'll ever play. And not a better feeling to end off a very depressing season. Upsetting your rivals, really throwing a wrench in their playoff hopes, as now Spearfish, they'll have to be on the road here coming playoffs if Paul James' math is somewhat accurate, which I do believe it. So, no, it's, again, an absolute gut punch. The second gut punch in a row from Spearfish. Again, they're that final drive. I believe there's going to be a lot of questions asked about just strategy with that last drive, as even just hearing from the fans down low, hearing about just kind of the reasoning behind it, if there was any. But anyways, that's for the entire state to decide. Again, if you're a Spearfish, you got to regroup. You've been able to beat a top 3 team on the road. You've done it against Watertown, and you will probably be on the road here next week on Halloween, next Thursday. You'll be making the trip somewhere. But again, if you're a Sturgis Scooper fan, what a better way to go out. Beating your rivals. Second win in a row, actually, versus the Spartans, as they beat Spearfish at Woodle Field last year. And just a great way to end off a disappointing season and just kind of send the seniors home happy.
And injuries, again, play a factor. You see how important Dylan Doran is to this team when he can't play tonight. Jack Coette, Crott is out probably for the rest of the season. So some injuries playing the toll with those key players, just like they did last year for the Spearfish Spartans. And as we look down at things here through the South Dakota High School Activities Association, they have Spearfish dropping down to number 5 and going on the road next Thursday night to the 7-time defending state champions, Pierre Governors, in that 5-4 matchup. Does Sturgis make it into the playoffs? They do not, as they stay at the number 9 spot. They finish with 38.6 seed points. Ahead of them, Aberdeen Central with 39.3 seed points. Barely out of the playoffs if you're Sturgis. They had a chance at it. They didn't think that they really had a shot to get to the playoffs, but again, we did the math earlier this week. We figured Pierre, if they were to beat Brookings, that they were able to beat Douglas, they wouldn't get as many points, so they would drop in the standings. Spearfish, you would have been able to move up to at least 4 or even 3, but again, it's hard to move up when you lose a game, especially to a lower-ranked opponent, so that will drop Spearfish. Again, these are not official. They could also be the 6th seed as well, because they need to do some math as well, as we could possibly go to Brookings as well next week. But I do believe that we'll probably be making another road trip over the Pier here in about a week. Looks like 3 teams ended the year at 7-2 in the Class 11 AA, with Pier at 5-4 and Spearfish at 6-3. Again, Spearfish wanted to be in that top 4 to host next Thursday night, but it looks like by the seeding points with this loss tonight to a team that only had 2 wins on the season, you drop down to number 5, and most likely will go to Pier unless things change. We'll take a break, come on back with the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard, and we'll have that when we return in 2 minutes on KDSJ Sports.
For over 10 years, Allied Construction has been a trusted name in the Black Hills, providing top-quality construction services to our local community. We take pride in being a local business with deep roots in the area. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust us to deliver exceptional results on every project. Our team is dedicated to providing personalized service, ensuring your project gets the attention and expertise it deserves.
Check out their website today. Click alliedconstruction.com or find them on Facebook. It's not one, but two great locations in Spearfish to gas up and get what you need on the go. Exit 8 and Exit 14 Speedy Marts offer everything you need so you can get in and get out and get back on the road. Find your favorite snacks and a cold drink, or maybe something fresh from the kitchen or in the cold case. It's all homemade right here. And Exit 8 and Exit 14 offers top-tier fuels from Phillips 66, so you get the most from your transportation. Exit 8 and 14 Speedy Marts in Spearfish. Right off the road, right on the money.
Companies and work with all of them. Jake's Collision Repair of Spearfish and Sturgis. Give them a Google today for the best repair on your vehicle, guaranteed.
Do-it-yourself made easy with help from Proline Equipment Rentals in Belle Fourche. Whether you're a full-fledged contractor or just taking care of some jobs around your home, Proline has the equipment you need. Lifts for any job, like scissor lifts, boom lifts, and man lifts. Skid steers, trenchers, backhoes, and more. Step inside to find smaller tools for do-it-yourself projects like concrete work, painting, sewer repair, and more. Call 723-7677, click ProlineEquipmentRentals.com, or stop by off North Highway 85 in Belle Fourche today.
At Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, we are here to help you make your comeback. Our team is standing by to diagnose and treat your injury with some of the most advanced treatment options available and same-day appointments. Monument Health practitioners work closely with our therapists and physicians in communities throughout the Black Hills, with locations in Rapid City and Spearfish. Visit monument.health/orthopedics for more information. That's monument.health/orthopedics for more information.
And thanks once again here at the Monument Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine broadcast booth. It is a Thursday night as we wrap up the season and get into the playoffs for some of the other teams here. We have things finish up for the season here. There's 15-10, the Sturgis Coopers get their third win of the season and knock off the Spearfish Spartans and force them to go on the road next week to the Pure Governors as of right now in the matchup menu there. Let's go over to Class 11 AA, see how things shook out on the final night of the regular season. It was Brandon Valley defeating Sioux Falls Jefferson 28-3. And that Rapid City Central, Rapid City Stevens battle, Central wins at 35-33.
Wow.
As they take down their rival. So the Cobblers win a close one over there. Most of those points in the first half. Sioux Falls Lincoln defeats Harrisburg 27-17.
That's also an upset in Class AAA.
T area, Class 11 AA team. They'll probably be Class AAA here someday. But they take down Washington 15-14 in a close one. And O'Gorman defeated Roosevelt, not a close one there, 42-0 as O'Gorman wins it. Class 11 AA, this is the class that was anything but easy to figure out. Pure could have put probably a 60 on Douglas tonight. They didn't. They win it 34-7, probably getting some of their players rested for the postseason. Sturgis comes here to Spearfish, takes down the Spartans 15-10. T area defeated Sioux Falls, Washington, as we mentioned, 15-14. Yankton, probably the best team in the state, and oh my, they defeated Mitchell tonight 80-14.
Ooh.
Watertown gets by Aberdeen Central 41-14. And I thought maybe we'd have an upset here, but we did not. The Brookings Bobcats take care of business and defeat Huron 40-14 in Class 11 AA. Class 11A regular season final tonight. The Custer Wildcats defeated Lakota Tech 69-16. And Rapid City Christian doubles up Belle Fourche 32-16. Tough year for the Bronx as they end 1-8 on the season. A quick look at our playoff matchups here tonight on the Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram scoreboard. Class 9AA, I think we just had one team around the area. That was Hill City. They defeated Bonham 41-20 tonight. So Hill City will be hosting Marion Freeman Academy on Halloween night.
That'll be a good one.
Down in Hill City.
Especially two teams that are pretty similar, like to spread the ball out, kind of throw it all over the yard, something you don't see a lot of in nine-man football. Two explosive offenses. That will be a good one to watch there in Hill City.
Wall Eagles all over Chester tonight, 52-0. Wall will host Castlewood next week. Let's see. Dupree upsets number 5 Harding County Bison Ranchers 50-28. So Dupree will go to Wolsey-Wessington next week, and Harding County Bison is done for the season. And there was the Phillips Scotties and the Centerville. I think they're the Tornadoes. I don't have a final.
I'll see what I can find.
The winner would go up against Warner next week.
That would be Phillip. Phillip won over Centerville 44-30.
Okay. That was Class 9A.
Correct.
Let's go to Class 9B, and we have, let's see, just one team, I think, around the area. That was Kadoka area, and they won tonight, 54-12. So Kadoka area will play St. Mary's. That's like Del Rapids, St. Mary's. That's next week. So some of our teams moving on. Other ones are done. Lee Deadwood was done last week. Belfouche is done. Sturgis is done. They just missed out on the playoffs, finishing in the number 9 spot. And the Spearfish Spartans finish in the number 5 spot, it looks like, and will go to Pierre possibly next Thursday on Halloween. And I already think that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, we were there early. I mean, we were there not even a week ago. We were in Pierre. Yeah. We were there pretty much last Friday. And, nope, we'll get pretty familiar with that road trip, as right now, well, looking like we'll probably have to pay another visit to the 7-time defending state champions, the Pierre Governors. And they've been playing some good football as of late as well.
Let's take a break, and we will have our player of the game. It's our Superior Auto Solutions Superior Performer coming up next on KDSJ Sports.
You see them everywhere. That's because Heinzerling Concrete of Spearfish is the most trusted name for everything from driveways, sidewalks, decorative stamp patios, and of course, foundations. Heinzerling Concrete is proud to support the activities that help our area youth build their foundation for future success. Whatever the job, Heinzerling Concrete is the name you can trust. Google Heinzerling Concrete in Spearfish or call 210-2320.
Beef Logic, Inc. is proud to sponsor South Dakota's high school and collegiate athletes this season as they work alongside their partners at the South Dakota Beef Industry Council to deliver the Build Your Base Sports Nutrition Program at local high schools and colleges around the state and the country. Are you looking for a simple, easy-to-follow program that can help you and your family optimize performance both on and off the field of play? Check out buildyourbase.org and learn why beef continues to be the premier protein for athletic performance and recovery.
Nine weeks of high school football has come to a close here on this Thursday night. We'll get into the playoffs with the bigger schools next week, and second week of the playoffs for other schools next week as well. But as this Thursday night comes to a close, we have to name our best player out there on the field tonight, and it is time for our Superior Performance, brought to you by Superior Auto Solutions in Spearfish. Call 605-642-9111 or see their inventory online at superioroutosd.com. Clayson Davis has the voting results.
The voting results, based off of the 3 votes of Paul James, Cody Oliver, and I, results of Sully Jost being the player of the game, brought to you by Superior Auto Solutions here in Spearfish. We don't have stats up here at KDSJ-TV at all, but based on the eye test that we like to go off of here at KDSJ-TV, Sully Jost really gave a spark to the Spearfish, Sturgis offense, as he was able to get some traction with the run game. Definitely give credit to his offensive line, really putting their weight into the defensive line of Spearfish and just paving some holes for Sturgis the entire night. Really was the spark on that drive. He had some critical third and fourth and shorts on that scoring drive for Sturgis, and he was able to score earlier in the game. He also was able to set up a touchdown run off of a fullback trap by his blocking fullback Calvin Kettleston. But he wasn't able to run that play with so much success if it wasn't for the running efforts of Sully Jost, again, who's also battled injuries through the entire year. He still has been over 800 yards running in the entire season. I wouldn't be surprised he could have possibly passed over 1,000 yards after this contest. Again, don't have stats up here for the game, but definitely are one of our better superior performers of the entire year just as far as impacting the game from start to finish. Started off slow, definitely got it going, and then when it matters most, that's when you have superior performances brought to you by Superior Auto, and not a bigger superior performer than Sully Jost, a junior tailback for the Sturgis Scoopers.
And you can once again go to SuperiorAutoSD.com for more details and check out more details about our players of the game throughout the fall season at KDSJ980.com and our Superior Performance link there. We're going to take a quick break, be back to wrap things up here from the KDSJ and Monument Health Orthopedic Sports Medicine broadcast booth in 1 minute.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Vehicles today are complicated and expensive. The professionals at Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Spearfish are here to guide you through everything automotive. From cars, trucks, and SUVs to parts and repairs, Junix takes the confusion out of automobile ownership. Enjoy the ride with Junix Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Family owned since 1931 on West Jackson in Spearfish.
I'm Cody Oliver, back with you as we put the finishing touches here on another broadcast at Thursday night. It's kind of weird, but we will have about a week off before next Thursday, Halloween night. And as of right now, it looks like Spearfish will be on the road for the playoffs at the Pure Governors next week in a 4-5 matchup. The 4 would host, the 5 would be on the road. At least it's not to Watertown or Yankton, but we may have to see those teams down the line. Sturgis just misses out on the playoffs, 38.6. Aberdeen Central ahead of them at 39.3. Coming up this weekend, more football right back here at Lyle Hare Stadium in Spearfish as the Yellow Jackets of Black Hill State will be hosting Shadron State. Kickoff at 4 o'clock on Saturday. Steve Emmerman with the call here on KDSJ Radio. And then follow KDSJ-TV this weekend for coverage of the East-West Classic featuring the Spearfish Lady Spartans.
Yeah, that is coming up starting tomorrow. It'll be TV only. We won't be over the radio waves. But again, join Spearfish as they take on the best of the best here in Class AA in high school volleyball. Spearfish coming in to this weekend on an 18-game winning streak. And then next, I believe tomorrow, they'll be playing Brookings, Watertown, and I think Brandon Valley. I need to check the schedule for that, but that is coming up tomorrow night. Again, that is TV only on KDSJ-TV on YouTube and on Facebook. But that is coming up tomorrow, and then on Saturday there'll be 2 games, including the undefeated and 66-game win streak Harrisburg Tigers as well.
That's all featured this weekend here on KDSJ Sports. Be sure to follow our Facebook page and KDSJ TV for more updates. For Paul James up on the roof, Clayson Davis over at KDSJ TV, I'm Cody Oliver. This has been another KDSJ Sports presentation as the Sturgis Scoopers defeat the Spearfish Spartans 15-10 in another rivalry classic.